Hey team, Jesse here from DVO New Zealand. Today we are going to go through how to do a lower service on the Onyx single crown fork, which is applicable to pretty much all of our forks and is a very similar principle to most other forks. Just with our stuff, there's a couple of little things that you need to do. A few of you in previous videos have asked comments for something this simple, which is good because it's a task that most of you can achieve at home. It's not a super difficult task, and it's something that you should realistically be doing every 50 hours. And doing it every 50 hours will ensure that you won't get premature wear of seals and deterioration of performance. So it's a really good thing to do. It's a really good thing to know. What you need is, so for DVO, you need a 18mm socket to get the foot nuts off. I've just got it on an adjustable wear wrench there. In this guy's case, it's done 100 hours, so I put the new seals and foam rings in. Soft rubber mallet just to tap the foot nuts to crack the casting free. I use Sicolium light grease there, and then bath oil. We use WPL 10 weight most of the time. Sometimes we'll use Motorex 68k or 100k superglss, depending on the rider and their temperature and their inclination to actually service their stuff. But that's it. Obviously you need a bit of cleaning stuff to clean the lowers out. You can use what we have here, which is this big pole, wrap a bit of cloth around the end and then drive it through suspension cleaner, isopropyl alcohol, even hot soapy water and a scrubbing brush, and then just ensure that you fully clean those things out. But we'll take you through that when we get to that step. Right, so I personally like to use a bike sand. Makes it easy to spin the fork around. Take your wrench and obviously attach it to the foot nut. With our forks, the rebound foot nut, the rebound adjuster is inside this. So what I like to do is go ahead and count the clicks, because when you undo or do this back up, it can move it. So he's 12 from fully open. We go from fully open because when we bleed a damper, it needs to be fully open, so everything counts from fully open. So it's easy, and then just crack into it. And I just spin these off till they're about 5mm off. You can see that there, because then I'm just going to gently tap this foot nut to push the rebound damper shaft off the base of the casting. And then same again with the OTT side. Spin that off. Rubber mallet, don't use a metal steel hammer, just because you don't want to damage anything, and just a gentle tap. And you can see that's now pushed all the way in, and gentle tap. There's a bit of air in that one. And then spin the foot nuts the rest of the way out, remove those. Spin it. Done. And then I have super gross bucket down there, and spin this. Lock it in tight, and then just basically one hand on the upper, one hand on the lower, and because of the size of these bushings, it just slides off beautifully. There we are. Lowers detach from the uppers. So what I like to do at this step is just sort of let these drain of any of the sort of excess oil, and then just give the damper shafts and the stanchions a good wipe down. Just get nice and clean. Obviously we're not going any deeper into the service here today for anything, so none of that needs to come off. And then we're going to pry the seals out of those. I have an old Park Tool tyre lever, which is a steel tyre lever that I don't think should be used on any rim. So I've wrapped a bit of electrical tape around there to protect the casting, and then I use it to get the seal out. And then what I do is just pop it, you can see there, just sits underneath there, and just lever against that, nice and gentle, in the burn, in the burn. Same with the other side, in the burn, in the bin. Ready to be cleaned. So because we are obviously suspension technicians, we have an industrial parts washer, which makes it super easy to do this. And just like a toilety scrubbing brush, and just get all that crap, oil, grease, dirt, grit, everything you can out of there. Just go through, give everything a real good scrub. As I said, you can use isopropyl alcohol, you can use hot soapy water, just something to scrub and get rid of all of the old dirt and oil out of the lowers is the essential thing. And then ensuring that you get it dry. You don't want any water or any other contaminants in the casting when you go to refill it with oil, or fit it back onto the uppers. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning this up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Right, so now while that's drying, we are going to take the foam rings and we're going to dunk them. Let those soak, bathe in as much of that oil as possible, and get our seals ready. The DVO seals come with a little bit of grease already in there, so we go through and just wipe that around. Make sure it's spread out pretty evenly. Spread that out there. And then we just have a 36mm seal press, because this is an Onyx. Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and show you how we press the seals in with this tool into the casting. Right, so we've got our casting here nice and dry and free of water and contaminants. Now we take our seal and we slide that onto the seal press, grab the casting, and then this longer part here lines up with the bushing to ensure that you don't press the seal in not straight. Most of this can be done with hand pressure, so you can just sort of, I can't really see that, but push it most of the way in, and then trusty rubber mallet again, just gently tap that in. Sounds more violent than it is because everything on the bench is rattling. Awesome. So it's set in place, and then remove that, and then same again on the other side. So again, slide that on, and line that up, and then press it in as far as you can, then rubber mallet in. Ready to go. So quite funny, this is how unscripted and unedited these videos are. I forgot to put the foam rings in, which is not a problem. We get them out of their little bath oil and basically put one leading edge in behind there and wriggle that down into place. Obviously if you put them in first, makes it a bit easier because you are just dropping them into their slot, but this is not the first time that I've done this way around, so I have a tactic for it. Drop that in, boom, and then obviously there's a bit of factory grease in there that comes with. I'm going to go through and just take a little layer of scolium, and what you want to do is apply it to this edge. I don't know if you can see with the lighting, so that edge there, so a blob of it, and then you want to sort of scoop it round so that it's coating all of that seal. So everything that the seal touches is going to be nicely lubricated. See that there? You don't need heaps, but you want to make sure that every part of that rubber seal is covered. So again, same again, scrape it on, just wipe it around into that seal. Perfect. And then your lowers, ensure the offset orientation is up, so offset is forward, which means the bridge of the arch is facing on top. And what I do, I don't know if you can see that, line them up, gently glide them past the foot nuts, and then one at a time, is that for showing that? There we go. better angle, one at a time. Just gently glide them past the first bit of the stanchion, get them on, and then because these are nicely sized, once they're on, they will just glide straight into place. And once they're in place, obviously you want to raise this up, because what we're going to do now is put oil into the bottom of those foot nuts there. So once you're ready to put the oil into the lowers, I have a syringe here that is 50 cc's. So the Onyx and the Diamond take 25 cc's either side. So this is really easy. Just pull on this, fill her up to the top. Takes a second. Boom. Check off the excess, head on over. And then putting that hose in, and then I'm just plunging it down to the 25 cc mark, and then into the other side. Done. And then now that those, you can see those holes there, basically vacant to allow the hose from the syringe to fit in, and then what we'll do is we'll push it down, and you'll see now the rebound foot nut is sort of in place, and the OTT foot nut is in place, and then what we use is that same socket from the beginning. So we attach the OTT, and we're going to place it in there, and you'll feel it grab on the threads. Do that most of the way up. Same again, the rebound side. Put it on. You'll feel it grab again, the threads. Do it most of the way up. And then onto your wrench. Finish those off. Perfect. And don't forget to recount your rebound clicks and reset those, and then I will take you through the last step that we go through. So the last step I like to go through once that's all been done is just go through and double check that the air bleeders don't have any air trapped in them. Obviously there's a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side, to make sure that it's all equalized and that, yeah, everything's set up to run right. And then go through and give it a really good clean. This is super important because any film of oil that is left on the seals or the stanchion coating itself only attracts dirt. There's nothing good that comes from having oil on the outside where you can see it. Anytime there's oil on the outside where you can see it, it is attracting dirt and grit, and it is trying to drag that into and past the seals. So go through and give it a real good clean up. Yeah, double check your air settings, your rebound settings, your OTT setting. But yeah, other than that, you've just gone through and achieved a full lower service. So cool. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I know it's a pretty simple one, but it's one that I think is something that most home mechanics can do themselves. Something we encourage people to do themselves. We sell the service kits, we sell the seal kits. It's a pretty easy one to do, and DVO is super easy to work on, and we sort of condone that self-sufficient behavior. So yeah, any questions about any steps in that process, or anything else that you'd like me to make a little video on, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make it happen. Cheers, team.